don't know why. Is a technical problem.
It just does that from time to time. I don't know why either.
Very weird. Okay. So we're up to Mishnah 6, and we are going to the next two sages who were the next leaders of the proto-rabbinic, perhaps Pharisaic, that means the Prushim, the Pharisees. 1 second, Geraldine. Community. So in Mishnah 4, we were introduced to Yossi ben Yoezer and Yossi ben Yochanan, who received their teachings from Antignos Socho, who received it from Shimon HaTzadik. So we're early on. By now, we are with Yoshua ben Prachia and Nitai Harbeli. We're approximately in the second, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we're in the 2nd century BCE, right? So we're about 200 years away from the destruction of the temple, and we're about 350 years away from when this text was finally put together. So there's a long memory that goes into these the records of these teachings. So these two people, Yoshua ben Prachia and Nitai Harbeli, are the head of the Sanhedrin and the executive vice president or something like that. Also called the Av Beit Din. So does somebody want to please step forward? Oh, Geraldine, you want to say something? Yes.
We kind of glossed over the end of number 5 about talking with your wife and the wives of your friends, and I have a little problem with that.
Well, I can't talk to you about it.
What?
I can't talk to you about it.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to talk a lot with women.
Okay.
So that's it. I mean, I think I said basically what I have to say about it at the end of that session, where I said this is a misogynist text. It reflects a view of women as secondary participants in the community, and certainly not eligible for any kind of full conversation in the way that you would engage with one of the guys. I think it's not very strange. It exists to this very day. How many women in the business world, in the corporate world, in all kinds of institutions complain that they're always excluded when the guys go out to have a drink together, which is where all the real information gets exchanged and all the real deals get made, and they're not included in that kind of conversation. So this is a reflection of that, and it's a reflection of what misogyny is all about. Misogyny sees women as inferior and at the same time as very, very dangerous, and you can get in trouble, right? That's the end of it, right? You'll go to hell if you let yourself get involved with women. So these are, I mean, I don't have anything to defend this about. This is just an ugly residue of the way people felt. What I was trying to say last time was that the complications of life are such that you can have a person who's totally devoted to the poor, totally devoted to certain concepts of social justice, and at the same time has prejudices in other ways. We're waking up to that again and again and again in examining American history. The founding fathers were unbelievable giants in many ways, and in many other ways they were, very limited in how they saw other human beings. They believed everybody was created equal, except for the people that they didn't see were created equal. So that's what it means to be a human being. We never see everything, and that's a good lesson to learn for ourselves as well. I'm very, very grateful that I have a broader perspective than who was this, Yossi ben Yochanan, but I'm sure that that I've got plenty of blinders on also, And that's part of what you want to try to have a tradition for, so that you can learn not only the good stuff, but also learn from the limitations, to to see that as a mirror up to yourself. So does that address this a little bit more?
Yes, makes me feel a little better.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, there are many, certainly in the traditional community, there are all kinds of ways that people try to defend this and make apologetics about the second-class, place of women in the society, and it's indefensible. It's really all wrong. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rabbi, do you want me to project the Mishnah text, or?
Don't ask me. I got it. Does anybody else want the Mishnah text projected on the screen? I see a lot of sideways.
No, I got it.
Okay, thank you for the offer. So Mishnah 6, Yoshua ben Prachia v'nitai har Bailey, Kiblu mehem. So as I said, now we're ready for somebody to please give us this first teaching in accordance with the translation that you have, and if we have a different translation, that's even better, so that we have a lot of translations to compare them with. Who's going to read for us, please?
I'll read.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did Eileen get back in?
No.
Maybe can somebody send her a little text message or something, please, to say that this was a technical glitch, and if she can get back in, we'd be very happy for her to participate. Somebody, okay? Please, thank you. Okay, Geraldine, go.
Yehoshua ben Pariah and Nital of Arbel received the tradition from them. Yehoshua ben Pariah taught.
Prachia. God is my flower.
Select a master teacher for yourself. Acquire a colleague for study. When you assess people, tip the balance in their favor.
Okay, so I'm sure that other people had slightly different translations. And maybe we'll go around a little bit. Does anybody want to offer another translation?
Yeah, I was thinking
Okay, Josie just raised her hand.
Okay.
She's, Bill, when you get more accustomed to like academic circles, raising your hand is the way students,
I should know
want
that.
to speak,
Mine says,
laugh, that was a joke. Okay, Josie.
Well, I took it seriously because you're right.
and I bet Bill has the same one. Yehuda ben Tabai teaches, when called to judge, do not.
No.
That's
Go
Run six,
Mishnah
Josie.
6.
Go up one paragraph or two paragraphs.
up one paragraph.
Yes,
Mishnah 6. Joshua ben Prachia and Nitai the Arbelite received the Torah from them.
Well, somebody else better read because I don't know where I am now.
Okay, I'll do it.
So now Bill, then Sarita, then Craig.
I'm waving madly crazy here. I have the same translation from Rabbi Shapiro's book, and I think it's interesting. One of the clauses is quite different.
Right.
Yehoshua ben Parachia and Nitai of Arbela received transmission from Yosef ben Yoezer and Yosef ben Yochanan. Yehoshua ben Parachia teaches, make yourself worthy of a teacher, secure for yourself a friend, and judge everyone favorably. It's basically the same as the traditional text in Sepharia, except for that first one. The first one in the traditional text says, acquire a teacher, and this says, make yourself worthy of a teacher. That seems to me to be more than just a different translation. That seems to be quite a different interpretation of what of what's going on here.
Good. So we're going to have to unpack all of this. Let's just get the other variations. Sarita?
Okay, I'll skip the first part. It says, provide thyself a teacher, get thee a companion, and judge all men charitably.
Okay. And now Craig.
I have the same translation as Sarita. It's the Hertz translation.
Very good. Okay, Lynn. You have to unmute.
Sorry. It says, appoint for thyself a teacher and acquire for thyself a companion and judge all men with the scale weighted in his favor, which I don't understand who his is. Is it?
The person you're judging.
Okay.
The other guy.
So a colloquial way of saying, give people the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, Eileen, welcome. Okay, so we have again, in terms of the structure of the statement, three pieces to the statement, right? Three clauses. In the Hebrew, it's aseh lecha rav, uknei lecha chaver, v'heveidan et kol ha'adam lechav zchut. So actually in the Hebrew also there's a certain rhythm, and the three-part statement begins with a three-word statement, and then a second statement is a three-word statement, right? And then the last statement goes longer. So it's ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, like that. So that's the audio of this statement. So we've had a number of different translations, and the before we get to the last one, we have a kind of a pairing or a kind of contrast in the first two statements, which are the three-word statements, right? There is somebody who's a master, and we're supposed to do something about somebody being a master, right? And we've got different translations for that. So, and then we've got someone who is a companion, and something about how we're supposed to be establishing some relationship with that companion. Okay? So, the first part, in the Hebrew reads, aseh lecha rav. The literal translation is, make for yourself a master. Okay? The next one says, uknei lecha chaver, and acquire for yourself a friend or a companion or a fellow, right? The word chaver is somebody who is, close to you, connected to you. Sadly, the word came into some currency when people, what is it now? 25 years ago, 20, whatever it is, at Rabin's funeral, when President Clinton at the funeral said, "Shalom, chaver," farewell, friend. So so the word chaver is a friend, a companion, an associate, a colleague, and the word rav means a master. If we look back to Mishnah 3, if you have that text available, we had a statement from Antignos ish Socho. Antignos, man of Socho, right? And he said, do not be, I'm going to read my translation, it doesn't matter right now. Do not be not like slaves who minister to the master for the sake of receiving a reward. So there's the first time we had the word Rav. The word Rav means master. So in that case, what master are we talking about? In that case.
Oh, someone who owns a slave.
Yeah. So we're talking about that kind of power and economic relationship. There's a master who owns slaves. And then the question is, what kind of attitude should the slaves have in serving their master? And of course, we talked all about it. There's a certain, understanding that we get, that we're talking about God is the master here, and we are God's servants, so we are God's slaves even, and we're supposed to serve God. So that's the first use we have of the word Rav. Here, is that really what this statement might be saying? Arita.
It's a person who has mastery of the subject.
So that's the, when we look at we say that we use the word teacher sometimes. Yeah, there's a move here that the master is the way we have like a Zen master or a master of a discipline, and that person is then, hopefully the person, your go-to person, to whom you look for guidance in this field that you want to master, right? That you want to master yourself. So this is a person who has already mastered this field. So is it only about mastery of the subject matter? What's the relationship between the person being talked to? Somebody's being talked to here, right? Yoshua ben Prachia says, you.
Yeah, it's the student.
You, listener, the person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Make for yourself a master. Make a master for yourself. So let's, just to remind me, anybody have like a significantly, we had Bill's make yourself worthy of a master.
That's very interesting.
That's like a standard Rami Shapiro trying to get out of what the text really says. And we can maybe go back to why he feels uncomfortable about going literal. But what other ones have we looked at? What other ones have we heard? Anything substantially different than make for yourself a master?
Or appoint for thyself a teacher. Appoint.
Or provide yourself a teacher.
Right. Yeah, that's what I have.
Selected to teach, a master teacher.
Okay, select. So what are all those? What are we saying? What is this person who's not a master yet?
You have to choose wisely.
Trying to do what should they be trying to do, Josie?
You have to choose wisely.
Choose what? What does that mean to choose?
Teacher.
What does your choice actually do? What is the? If I go to the store, I have to choose wisely. Either I'm going to buy Cheerios, or I'm going to buy sugar-coated chocolate marshmallow puffs.
Yeah.
You have to choose wisely. And the choice will be either one or the other, right? So I know what the choice entails. What is the choosing here about? Yeah, Jen, she raised her hand.
It's okay. I mean, it sounds to me like this is as serious as choosing a guru, like somebody who is really going to have an enormous influence over your life, and you're really supposed to obey and model yourself on. So I don't know, though, how many choices of gurus you had at that time. Like, how many senseis are there out there that you can actually choose from, though? So I don't know what it was like. Are there is there a master teacher on like every corner, and you just, go around to different schools, or is it something you have to travel to a big city to find someone? Okay. I don't know what's involved in actually.
Craig, then John. Good.
I'm thinking here that if you are providing yourself a teacher or selecting yourself a teacher, that also means that you're recognizing in yourself that you don't know everything, and that you need somebody else who might know more, who can help you gain insight. I think that the issue about getting a companion, someone that you can talk, discuss things with, and what have you, who more is recognized as sort of your equal, but always recognizing that there might be somebody who can provide you more insight than you have, who's more knowledgeable than you are.
Making the choice to learn.
I want to just take a break for a second. Technological, whatever it is, I can't see everybody. So if somebody that's not on my screen is raising their hand, I cannot see you. So speak up if you, I can see 9 people, but I can't see another 5 people. So if you're one of those 5 people that I can't see, then yell. Okay, yes, Sari, you finished? Go ahead.
Right, and then Lou said something.
Making the choice to learn. I mean, it's a definite choice that you're going to seek this out.
Okay. Craig.
This almost seems to have echoes of wisdom literature, saying, there is a wisdom out there that you need to acquire. We don't have wisdom speaking to us like we, do in the text, but you need to find someone who can show you the true wisdom.
Okay. John.
Also,
wait, John.
I think there's an aspect here that it's someone you can accept. Like, so you have to find it for yourself, and that's by definition going to be an authority you selected. So you accept that authority because you found it yourself. It wasn't given to you. It wasn't, here's a teacher, or use this person as a teacher.
What about having? What about someone with experience, also a master, who's a proven teacher?
Right. So what makes that person a master is part of what you're talking about, and a little bit what Jen mentioned before. So what I'm hearing from a lot of what has been said is we have a few issues here. How do you know that somebody? Let's flip Rami Shapiro's translation on its head. Make yourself worthy of a master. Let's look the other way. How do you know somebody's worthy to be a master? How do you find the master that you might then decide to make the master for you? How do you know that that person is masterful in whatever it is that that you're seeking guidance in and wisdom? So one question is, who are these masters? Where do they come from? You know, that's one question. Then, even if they're out there, apparently each person who's not a master is being called upon by Yoshua ben Prachia to make for yourself a master, right? Make a master for yourself, which has to do with a little bit of the idea of choosing. We have choices. There are many possible candidates out there, and the choice has to be made. A third issue that has come up, and all of these things interrelate with each other, is authority. What does it mean for the person to be your master? Is it just somebody that has more knowledge than you, and I can you know, if I listen to this person enough, I'll be able to, you know, get all the knowledge I need? Or is there something more than that? Is a sensei, a guru, a master in those other disciplines, has a certain aura about them and has a certain standing vis-a-vis you that goes beyond the fact that they know how to do a certain karate chop better than you, you know, or something like that. There's a certain attainment of humanity that they exemplify that you are trying to absorb. And the Zen stories are replete with some disciple, you know, asking the Zen master something, and the Zen master hits them over the head, or the Zen master, you know, says something that they can't understand at all, and that's the whole point, right? There's a certain transfer back from that old slave and master, use the word master, that comes back into this relationship. So there's if there is some kind of authority, the fact that you're choosing to have this person have authority over you is a little bit paradoxical, right? It's your free choice, but at the other hand, once you choose it, what you're choosing is to put that person above you. That would be one way to look at this, but not everybody here. You know, I can say, okay, I gotta take I gotta fill up my credits. I've got to take 15 credits this semester. So who am I gonna choose as my teacher? You know, I've got 3 poli-sci, you know, courses that I can choose from. So that's what I was saying before. What is the choice about? Is it simply choosing from a variety of options, or is the choice a lot more significantly, pertinent to the person? Sarita.
I'm just thinking about the possibility of making a wrong choice. Maybe I'm influenced. I'm reading Paul Krugman's book, Arguing with Zombies, and he talks about, you know, people who maybe, you know, were well-respected economists who didn't know what they were talking about, or who were presenting views that weren't based on sort of evidence and what people had learned, but their own biases and prejudices. And so someone can seem to be an authority, but they might still be influenced by such personal biases, and that could really lead you astray. I think about, what about if you follow a false prophet, as it were? So I think, you know, what a serious choice you potentially could make here.
Right. So it comes back to a little bit, how do you know? How do you know? You know, how do you know that this person really is the master that you should be choosing? And you know, when we have false prophets, we have certain rules that the Torah gives us, which are basically useless. They don't really help, but at least it tries to make some kind of differentiation. But yes, this is an existential choice that you know, that comes up in a way that just puts it out for you, and you got to do it.
Rabbi, I think one of the things you have to do is you have to go and listen to the master at some maybe public gathering, or asked to sit in on a class, because what I found is everybody raves about Professor so-and-so, and then I might go and think, I can't connect to this teacher. There's just no give and take, or I don't agree with their politics, or I can't stand their voice.
Yeah.
So you have to do a little exploring in person, I think. Is that possible in these times?
Absolutely. You know, how many masters there are out there is almost a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy. You know, you choose somebody, maybe only other, you know, maybe nobody else has chosen that person, but you
make them.
But you do that, or somebody else has thousands of disciples, and you go to listen, and you see what's going on, and you say, no, that's not for me. So yes, there is this back and forth between your full responsibility and power to make that choice, but then the power that you have is about a kind of a self-examination of who do I need to sit by. Remember the image we had actually two Mishnayot ago. Sit at the dust of the feet of the sages. Right? There's going to be somebody that you're going to say, you know what, maybe so-and-so knows, you know, the field better than the other person. But that other person has a certain way about them that touches me better, that I'm going to be able to learn from better, or she has a certain quality about them that will help me open to what I need to open up to. So there's both judging yourself. What do you need to learn? How will I successfully learn this? But I want to go beyond the learning, because what the rabbis felt was that the learning that you were doing wasn't just being wise and knowledgeable. It was walking in God's ways. It was very much a Zen kind of idea, a sensei idea. And this, of course, is in modern, certainly Jewish life, very, very, very weakly found. There are small, tiny little pockets of people that might be willing to do that. But in general, we really believe in autonomy. We believe in individual judgment and in individual decision making, and we really don't, appreciate, letting somebody else make a decision for us. Recently, as your Rav, as the rabbi of Shomrei, I was, asked by one of the members who said, you put out that statement, and basically you say that because you're the rabbi, you can make a decision here. So you're just basically telling me that we have to do this because I said so. Who are you? So that's a person who has not made me, at least, their Rav. I mean, I might be, salaried employee of the shul as the quote-unquote rabbi, but I'm not the Rav. So this is a struggle that exists in our life, in America, in modern world, and in Jewish life also. So we'll be continuing this next time. It's time to sign off. Sei gesund. See you.
Thank you.